Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I'm 36 years old, and I just need an advice on. I've racked up about $1 million debt before I apparently started listening to you guys.
Wow.
My mortgage from $900 a month has gone up to about $4,500 a month, and I'm just very concerned because I've been constantly listening to you guys and Dave to see, okay, what's the best way to tackle some of this. I've got 2 investment property in my primary house, and I'm trying to combine all, and, with the current market, I just don't feel like I should sell. So what would be the best advice in terms of getting, financially out of the situation, I guess?
So when you say you have $1 million in debt, is that consumer debt, or are you including all of these mortgages?
Just the mortgages. I had some car loans. As soon as I started listening, I had the money already saved up. So I paid off my car. It was about $1,200 in the car loan that was left. I was planning to buy another car. I stopped that already. So I've got a 2 under 3-year-old baby. So I was planning to buy a minivan. Already stopped that plan.
Okay, so you have no consumer debt. You just have a mortgage, and then a rental mortgage, and another rental mortgage.
Correct.
And you're saying your total payments add up to $4,500 a month, or is that just on the one mortgage?
Just on my primary house mortgage. Both the other houses, the investment properties, are more or less self-sustaining. The other one, I have got a bit of a positive cash flow for about $900 a month.
Okay, so if you sold both rentals, what would you net after paying off the loans?
I would probably have $60,000 additional because I bought all those houses maybe around the peak, one of the houses around the peak of the market. So I may have to sell for maybe like a bit less. Yes.
Okay.
And then the current house, the previous house, I may make about $120,000 on that.
So why you said your mortgage went from $900 to $4,500?
So I used to live in one of the properties that I'm renting right now. I just moved last year, so.
Okay, and you have a wife?
Yes, I do have a wife. She was working before the maternity leave. Now she's no longer working because of the 2 kids.
Okay, so just your income. What do you make a year?
I make about $160,000 a year.
Okay, and that's before any rent. I'm sure the rental income isn't much at this point. Like you said, it's barely cash flowing.
Yeah, I got maybe about $900 from one house. That's a month.
You called in because you don't want to be in debt anymore. And so to pay off these, to have your, the idea is people get into real estate investment thinking, well, the renter's going to pay my mortgage, so it'll just be super easy and no stress. Well, as you know, it doesn't really work out like that. And so you have a few options. Number one is you just tackle these mortgages on these rentals, or you sell the one you like the least and you start to help. I would, if I'm in your shoes, I would probably just start from scratch, get rid of the rentals, pay down your primary home, because $4,500 a month is not sustainable for your income.
I agree. I make about $10,000 a month.
So half of your income is going to the mortgage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which tells me there's no way we're not going to be able to get this mortgage lower unless we just sell and downsize. Could you sell and downsize to a different home?
I would rather not, since it's something that I bought for the kids, and I'm trying to live this.
For the kids, they're 2 years old. They don't know they won't remember this house. Don't say it's for the kids. The kids are going to watch you and mom be in stress for the rest of your life because half of your income is going towards this house.
It was a very hard decision to buy the house, and I just don't feel. But yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, well, you tell me, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I want to be financially free. That's all.
But what do you want to do? What is your next step? Let's say you hang up today and you say, forget those guys on the show.
Who I called to get their opinion.
You tell me what you think is the best move for you.
So I've got about $650,000 on my primary house as a mortgage, and the rest is on those 2 houses. So even if I were to sell those 2 houses, I could make a bit of a dent on my primary house and get maybe a bit lower on the mortgage, and then start to pay off maybe like every year I could save maybe about 70,000 and start to pay maybe in the 5-year plan. Or the other option, like you said, is just downsizing to a smaller house, or maybe move to my older house, which is the one that's cash flowing about $900 a month.
So now tell me, which of those plans gets you the most peace in the quickest amount of time?
I think selling my current home would. I may have to take a big hit, though, about $120,000 on that one if I were to sell it.
Because you can't get what you paid for it?
Yes, sir.
You can pause as long as you want to make this decision, but half of your income is going toward that mortgage, and these properties aren't cash flowing, which means you're losing money. It's adding stress to your life. I would sell the rentals, take that 60. I would sell your house, take that 120. That gives you 180 to put on your next residence as you downgrade, and hopefully we can get that mortgage lower to about $2,500 on a 15-year fix. That's your sweet spot, making $10K a month.
Yeah.
That's the problem to solve for. I don't know. I mean, I wish that I could change the numbers and snap my fingers, Dave. I want to be helpful, but there's a lot of debt, and you can undo a lot of it because it's just sitting there in the properties. But I don't think continuing down this path is going to be a blessing for you.
I just wish my wife would have started working, maybe with the kids. Maybe she was making about $100,000 before, which is not.
Dave, it feels like George laid this thing out for you about as clear as anybody could lay out, and you're just sitting there in pain, realizing how dumb your decisions were, and then as soon as he lays that out, and he's just going, look, you can get out of this. It's going to be painful, but it's more painful to stay in it. You're laughing about it, and then your first comment is, "I wish my wife had been making more money." Like, I feel like it's lost on you what is going on here, which is just owning the fact that you didn't make some good decisions. And now you got a chance to get out of it. It's going to be painful, but you got to do it. It just feels like you're not, I mean, again, you do what you want to do, but it doesn't feel like you really locked in and accepted personal responsibility. Am I right, or am I wrong?
Yes, you are right, sir. And I'm sorry if I'm laughing.
No. You can laugh all you want to.
One of the things that I was just listening in maybe previous calls was like looking at some of these Instagram realtors and, trying to get into the real estate. And that's how I got into this, apparently.
You saw an Instagram reel, and they were like, you need to get investment property now.
There's a crazy idea. I watched an Instagram reel and got myself stuck.
Yes.
Any Instagram reel that causes $1 million mistake is one worth unfollowing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you learned the lesson.
Yes.
But Dave, I guess I'm trying to just lay it on you here. I'm trying to spur you to action. Stop talking about your wife and her making 100 and not making 100. You got into this because you watched the wrong Instagram accounts. You got into this because you wanted to get rich quick.
Yes.
I know. So it's okay.
Okay.
There's no shame. All right.
And you will survive this.
Yeah.
This is not life or death. You're not in a crisis situation, but we need to make some drastic changes. And whether you do that now or 3 months from now and hope the market does whatever, I don't know what the market's going to do. It may get worse for a while before it gets better. But I do know this. Your life is real tight right now. And you got 2 little babies. And you want to see them flourish and grow, and you want to have joy. I don't want to see you distracted by money stress during that as they grow up. They're not going to remember the house. I promise. They're going to remember their dad being there, making eye contact, and they channel your energy. It's contagious. Their nervous system will take on the stress that you have.
Yeah, so true.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.